What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and good evening to you. Happy Tuesday. I am praying that you have had a phenomenal 2 days of this week. So far, these days have been a blur for me. I tell you, it's Tuesday, but it feels like it's Friday. And so it is good to see you. Do me a favor, would you? We are fresh on the air. Got a powerful word for you that is going to bless you in a tremendous way. Would you do me a huge favor? If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, or if you're on Periscope, would you do me a favor? And I want you to tag 5 people right now and invite them to Life Study. People go to church on Sundays, they skip church on Tuesdays. And I want to encourage you to invite 5 people, tag them right now and invite them to Life Study. There are times as a pastor, as a preacher, that I preach messages that encourage you, that make you shout, that make you dance, that make you just all excited. And then there are times where I preach messages that make you think, that challenge you to change your entire behavior. And so I'm here to tell you tonight is a challenging word. There is a challenging word for you that is going to bless you in a tremendous way. And I need you to tune in. Tune in. I need you to tag 5 people really quickly. I want to try to get this done at a reasonable amount of time, but I've got a lot of meat to throw with you tonight, or throw at you tonight, on a topic that is very touchy for many people, but it is very necessary for growth. And I can't wait to talk about forgiveness tonight. I'm here to tell you and promise you this message is going to bless you in a tremendous way. So come on, Instagram, come on. I need you to tag 5 people now. Facebook, I need you to tag 5 people now. If you've started a watch party, have not started your watch party, go ahead and start your watch party. And I want you to tag 5 people right now and tell them it is time to go to church. And I'm here to tell you there is a message tonight that is going to free you, that is going to help you in a tremendous, tremendous way. Come on, I need to see names tagged in the comments. I need to see names tagged on the stream. And I want you to invite people. If you're in a watch party, maybe you've got a watch party going on right now, I want you to invite everybody that you know. Somebody that is connected to you somewhere has been hurt, impacted by something that either somebody did to them, or here's the kicker, that they did to themselves. And so I want you tonight to invite them because I've got a powerful lesson on forgiveness that I absolutely promise you is going to bless you in a tremendous way. It's a practical word. It ain't complicated. It's a very simple and practical word that I promise you is going to bless you. And so I need you to invite somebody. Come on. I'm giving you 2 more minutes while I talk, while I give people time to get in the room. I'm giving you 2 more minutes. I need you to start inviting people. I'm here to tell you this message tonight is going to free you. This message tonight is going to challenge you. For some of you, this message tonight might make you a little upset. But the good news is oftentimes where you are upset is where growth is. That's where development is. That's where maturity is. And my job as a pastor is to make sure that I give you what God has given me so that it grows you and develops you and matures you. And so I can't wait to challenge you tonight. This is going to be a powerful message. You got 60 more seconds. Come on, tag somebody. If you want to speak, some of you are speaking now to other people in the room. That's great. But tag everybody. Tag 5 people quickly. Come on, think about your friends list. Tag them. They may not even be able to review it right now, but maybe they can go back and take a look at the replay. And I'm here to tell you, this is going to be a replay that they will not want to miss. This is a powerful one tonight. This one is a big one, and it's going to bless you. It's going to bless your family. It's going to bless your life in a tremendous way. Hello, good evening to everybody that's tuned in. It's so good to see you, and I'm certainly praying that God has been blessing all of you in a very special and tremendous way. Come on, you got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I need you 30 seconds to tag 5 people. Come on. Tag 5 people really quickly and tell them to tune in. They don't want to miss this one. I'm going to talk about forgiveness. I'm going to say some things you love. I'm going to say some things that make you think. But tonight, I promise you, there is growth at the end of this message. There is growth tonight at the end of this message. I can promise you, you're going to grow. You're going to be challenged. You're going to expand tonight in your thinking in a mighty way. And so I want you to tag 5 people. Come on, 15 seconds. Tag 5 people. Share this video. Share it with everybody on your friends list. Share it with all of your followers. and tell them to tune in. All right, let's get into the message tonight. I'm going to talk about forgiveness, but really from the subject, it's not for them, it's for me. It's not for them, it is for me. It's good to see you tonight, and so grateful to be here one more time. And certainly praying that God has been blessing you all week. Put it in the comments tonight. I'm going to talk from the subject. It's not for them, it's for me. I'm talking about forgiveness. And I'm going to challenge you in a special way because one of the things that we have to understand about forgiveness is that forgiveness is oftentimes something that is necessary to combat the spirit of offense. Right. And so I've discovered that one of the strongest defense mechanisms to the spirit of offense is forgiveness. One of the strongest natural defense mechanisms that we have to the spirit of offense is forgiveness. I'm here to tell you, you are going to offend people and people are going to offend you. It is the way, it's the pathway of life. I don't care. There are days as a parent, I wish I could wrap my kids in bubble wrap, literally. Wrap them in bubble wrap and protect them from everything that comes to them, every element of harm that comes their way. The reality is there are some things that are going to happen to them. There are some things that they are going to experience. And offense works the same way. If you live any significant amount of time, you're going to offend somebody and you're going to be offended in return. And so I've discovered that forgiveness is the only response to offense that zaps the power of the offender. Hear me. Forgiveness is the only response to offense that zaps the power of the offender, which means that when you operate in forgiveness, you automatically remove the power, the authority, the control of the person that's offended you. Forgiveness is the only tool that you have that automatically zaps the power, zaps the authority of the offender. So when someone offends you and you extend forgiveness to them, you automatically zap their authority. You automatically zap their power. And that's what makes forgiveness so strong, because oftentimes when people offend you, they oftentimes are filled with pride and they walk around as if, no, I did this to you. I said this about you. Now I've won up you. Now I've got something over you. And oftentimes what accompanies forgiveness is pride. It's this idea that I've done something to you. I've inflicted harm on you. And now you've got to deal with that. But forgiveness even zaps the spirit of pride. Automatically, when you forgive someone, you are stripping them from any ounce of power or authority that they have attempted to exert over you. So then I have discovered as a byproduct that when you forgive people, here's important. People can no longer control your emotions, your attitude, or your demeanor when they've been forgiven. People can no longer control your emotions or your attitude or your demeanor when you have forgiven them. When you forgive people, they can no longer control your emotions. They can no longer control your attitude. This is going to get rocky tonight. They can no longer control your demeanor when you have forgiven them. Why? Because the power that they once had, that they once exerted over you through offense, shifts back to you when you operate in forgiveness. When you operate in forgiveness, people can no longer control your emotions, attitude, or demeanor because you have shifted the power and the authority from the offender back to you. And so this is what makes forgiveness so powerful. Forgiveness is nothing more than an exercise that shifts power. Hear me. Forgiveness is an exercise that shifts power. When you operate in forgiveness, you are shifting power back to you. And so you're no longer at a place of a disadvantage, but you're actually operating in a space where you have taken all of the power that was zapped out of you by the offense, and you are shifting it back to you. This is what makes forgiveness powerful, because when you operate in forgiveness, the weight and the burden of the offense lifts off of you. And I want to say this to you. Not only is forgiveness powerful from a perspective of shifting authority or power, forgiveness, when forgiveness is not the response to offense, clutter is created. Hear me. When forgiveness is not the response to offense, clutter is created. What is clutter? Clutter is the active presence of things that no longer have usefulness. Clutter is the active presence of things that no longer have usefulness. And so when we do not operate in forgiveness, or when forgiveness is not the response to offense, we create clutter in our spirit. Hear me, I'm going somewhere. We create clutter in our spirit when we do not respond to offense with forgiveness, which explains why many of us are holding things inside of us: bitterness, anger, madness, anxiety, worry, depression, because instead of forgiving people for the things that they have done to offend us, we have housed those things in our spirit. And when they are housed in our spirit, it creates clutter. And clutter is not useful. Clutter takes up space. Hear what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that things that you hold in your spirit don't have value. Hear what I'm saying? It does not mean, and I'm going to deal with this later, because there is this misnomer that you don't have a right to be offended. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. Does not mean that you don't have a right to be offended, but hear me. Clutter has its value, but clutter, the reason we call it clutter is because it means that whatever you use as clutter is in the wrong place. And so that means you have a right to be offended, but you do not have a right to hold on to it. Because when you hold on to offense, it builds clutter in your spirit. And so you become bitter. You become hard to deal with. You become extra emotional. You become extra on edge. Some people become immature because these things have been built in our spirit and they have not produced good things. They have produced clutter in our spirit. And when clutter is in your spirit, you're going to walk around with things filled inside of you that really should be released from you. How do you know? Here's how I know. Because clutter, and I want you to hear me good, clutter is a reflection of the inability to let go. Clutter is a reflection of the inability to let go. Show me someone who is walking around with a cluttered spirit, and I'll show you somebody who is filled with a lot of things that they need to let go. Your mind, your spirit, your thoughts, your emotions, your behavior are all impacted by what you hold on to. I'm going to say that again. Your mind, your spirit, your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior are all impacted by what you hold on to. And some of us are spiritual hoarders. I like this because a few of you are in my notes tonight. Some of you, there's a show called Hoarders that I can't stand, where people are actually being video recorded in their houses with boxes and paper and all kinds of things just piled up everywhere. And it's crazy because it's really, hoarding is really a disease. Hear me. What makes hoarding a disease is the fact that hoarding is a reflection that you cannot put things where they belong. You hear what I'm saying? Hoarding is a reflection that you cannot put things where they belong. And I want to just say this to you tonight. You cannot afford to go into this new season of your life holding on to pain, drama, anger, worry from the last season. You cannot go to the new season of your life holding on to things from the last season. Because when you do, when you hold on to that hurt, you create clutter in your spirit. You create clutter in your emotions. You create clutter in your behavior. And because of that, it causes you to not be able to function the way God has intended you to function. You cannot be a hoarder in this season. Watch this. I want you to put this in the comments. This is your first PowerPoint. Put it in the comments now. I will not hold on to it. Come on. I will not hold on to it. Whatever it is that you are facing, that you are up against, that has bottled your mind, that has bottled your spirit, that has bottled your thoughts, that has bottled your emotions, and that is ultimately impacting your behavior, you cannot hold on to it. You are walking around as a spiritual hoarder, holding things that really for forgiveness wants to release from your spirit. I will not hold on to it. Come on, Facebook, drop it in there right now. I will not hold on to it. If it's not freeing my mind, I'm not going to hold on to it. If it's not freeing my spirit, I'm not going to hold on to it. If it's not freeing my emotions, I'm not going to hold on to it. And this is the big one. If it's impacting your behavior, you got to let go of it. And some of us are actually being influenced in our behavior by the things that we have not sought forgiveness in, for the things that we have not given forgiveness to. I'm here to tell you that forgiveness not only frees you from the offense, but forgiveness positions you not to hold on to drama and pain from a season that doesn't even belong to you. Watch this. Put this in the comments. I feel the Lord tonight. Put this in the comments. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. Whatever it is that you need to seek forgiveness for, whatever it is that you need to forgive somebody else of, I'm here to tell you, you've got to develop an attitude that says, it's beyond me. It's not my concern if it's impacting my mind. It's not my concern if it's impacting my spirit. It's not my concern if it's impacting my emotions. It's not my concern if it's impacting my behavior. It's beyond me. You've got to operate in forgiveness, forgive people, let it go, and move beyond it. Come on, put it in the comments. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. It ain't my issue. When I choose to forgive, I'm going to release all of the clutter that's in my spirit, that's in my life, that's keeping me from hearing, from thinking, from behaving, from moving the way I should. And I'm going to adopt an attitude that says, once I forgive you, it's beyond me. Once I forgive you, it is beyond me. Come on. If that's blessing you, I want you to drop it in the comments now, because I'm getting ready to get to the meat of tonight's lesson. And this is going to bless you. I've discovered there are three critical elements of forgiveness. There are three critical elements. There are three critical elements of forgiveness. And I believe this is going to bless you tonight. There are three critical elements of forgiveness, and I want to take my time through here and deal with these three elements. They're very simple, but I believe the Lord is going to speak something to us tonight. Three critical elements of forgiveness I want to give you tonight, all right? Element number one is honesty. Element number one, the first element of forgiveness is honesty. Honesty. I'm in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 through 16. I want you to get that. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 through 16. The first critical element of forgiveness is honesty. This is going to blow your mind. I promise you. Honesty. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 through 16. And this ain't what you think it is. I promise you. But I believe by the Spirit of Christ that some of you have already caught where I'm going. The first element of forgiveness is honesty. Watch this. I'm in Ephesians chapter number 4, verse 11 through 16. All right. Ephesians chapter number 4, verse 11 through 16. New Living Translation. It says this. Now, these are the gifts Christ gave to the church: the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, and the pastors and teachers. Their responsibility is to equip God's people to do his work and build up the church, the body of Christ. This will continue until we all come, I'm in verse 13, to such unity in our faith and knowledge of God's Son that we will be mature in the Lord. Hear me, measuring up to the full and complete standard of Christ. Then, verse 14, we will no longer be immature like children. We won't be tossed and blown about by every wind of new teaching. We will not be influenced when people try to trick us with lies so clever that they sound like the truth. Here I am, verse 15. Instead, we will speak the truth in love, growing in every way more and more like Christ, who is the head of the body, the church. Verse 16, and this is my last verse. He makes the whole body fit together perfectly. As each part does its own special work, it helps the other parts grow so that the whole body is healthy and growing and full of love. I want to focus on the part about truth in love, because here's the reality. Truth or honesty should do three things. It should challenge you, convict you, and correct you. This is going to get good. It should challenge you. It should convict you. It should correct you. Honesty, truth should challenge you. It should convict you. It should correct you. Hear me. Honesty or truth should challenge you, should convict you, and it should correct you. I'm here to tell you that if truth or honesty is not challenging you, is not convicting you, is not correcting you, then you are not getting the right truth. I'm going to say this again. Honesty should challenge you, should convict you, and it should correct you. Watch this. But here is what honesty won't do. Honesty will not change you. Watch this. Honesty, I know it. Honesty will not change you. Preacher, that doesn't make sense. You mean to tell me that the truth ain't going to change you? No. The truth will not change you by itself. Honesty, stay with me, will not change you by itself. Because I'm here to tell you, you can tell somebody the truth, but if they don't receive it, ain't no change happening. You can be honest and straightforward with somebody, but if they don't want to receive it, ain't nothing going to happen. I'm here to tell you that honesty and truth alone is not enough to change you. It cannot change you. Watch this. What you have to realize is that honesty only works when you acknowledge it. Honesty only works when you acknowledge it. I'm still talking about the first element of forgiveness, and that's honesty. I'm going somewhere. Honesty only works when you acknowledge it. Truth only works when you acknowledge it. Honesty itself will not change you. Truth will not change you, but it is your acknowledgement of it that puts you on the road towards change. Hear me. Some people never get over what's happened to them because they fail to acknowledge that it happened. I'm going to say that again slow. Some people never get over what happened to them because they fail to acknowledge what happened. I'm here to tell you that when you acknowledge a situation, that includes the role they played, and it includes the role that you play. When you acknowledge the truth about a situation, you are acknowledging the role they played, and you are acknowledging the role you played. And you cannot move to a space called forgiveness if you are not honest with you about what happened. And many of us are living in a fantasy world. I'm here to tell you, we're living in a fantasy world because we're not being truthful concerning the details of what went down. I don't care if it was an offense. I don't care if it was in a relationship. I don't care if it's in what somebody did to you. I'm here to tell you, the devil will make it real convenient for you to play the victim. The devil will make it real convenient for you to play the victim. And some people can't move to forgiveness because they're busy playing the victim. Everybody did this to me. They all did this to me. They all took me for granted. They all abused me. They all did this to me. They all said this to me. They all made me feel this way. But I'm here to tell you, real freedom and the real freedom that forgiveness provides does not come until you acknowledge your part in it. I know what they did, but you also have to admit your part in the situation, which is why I don't even let people run to me with information without telling me all the sides. I'm going to lose you here, but I'm here to tell you, you are crazy to entertain stories, information, gossip, tea, whatever you want to call it. You are crazy to entertain any story that does not include all the sides, because the devil will make it convenient for you to play the victim. And people who play the victim are the only people that are busy pointing and never acknowledging the truth about their role in a situation. I'm here to tell you, being the victim is a circumstance. Being a conqueror is a choice. Did you hear what I said? Being the victim is a circumstance. Sometimes you can't control what happens to you. But being a conqueror is a choice. Being a victim is a circumstance. But being a conqueror is a choice, which means you can't control what people do to you, but you can control how you choose to deal with it, what you choose to admit concerning it, and how you choose to move beyond it. I'm here to tell you, being the victim is a circumstance, but being a conqueror is a choice, which means I choose to be honest about my situation. I choose to say that the divorce wasn't just their fault, that I had something to do with it. Here we go. I choose to say that the breakup wasn't just because they were crazy, but I had some bad days as well. Oh, y'all quiet now. I choose to say that maybe the job didn't work out, not because I had a bad supervisor, but maybe because I didn't study and apply myself the way I should have. See, when you're going to operate in forgiveness, you have to deal with the honest truth of the situation. And hear me, at the root of unforgiveness, I know I'm losing them, but at the root of unforgiveness is this. Watch this. At the root of unforgiveness is pain and bitterness. I'm here to tell you, people are walking around in unforgiveness because they are painful and they are bitter about what's happened to them. And watch this. There's a part of dishonesty that you can't miss. I want you to catch this now. Another part of dishonesty that we cannot miss tonight is walking around acting like you're not bothered. When you walk around and act like you are not bothered, that doesn't mean you're not bothered. When you walk around and act like everything's all good, it does not mean you're not bothered. What it means, hear me, in love, is that you're fake. When you walk around acting like you're not bothered when you're really bothered, the problem is you're fake. And the problem with being fake is that any emotion you fail to acknowledge is an emotion you'll never overcome. Good God, help me to teach in this basement right now. Any emotion, any feeling, anything that has come against you that has offended you, whether it was their fault, your fault, or a combination of the two, anything that you fail to acknowledge is something you will never overcome. Stop being fake. I want you to put that in the comment. I'm going to see who want to be delivered tonight. And I'm talking about delivered with a T on the end. Stop being fake. Pastor, I'm truthful with everybody. I'm not talking about with everybody. I'm talking about being truthful with yourself, because I'm here to tell you that just because I forgave what you did doesn't mean I have to personally tolerate who you are. Just because I forgave what you did does not mean I have to tolerate who you are. Stop being fake. If you know they offended you, you need to come to grips with that. If you know you had a part in it, you need to come to grips with that. And I especially want to talk to my strong people. Can I talk to all of my strong people that are tuned in right now? I need you to tag a strong person right now, because I got a whole word for every strong person tuned in. One of the challenges and flaws of us strong people is that us strong people will walk around like ain't nothing wrong. Why? Not because we don't have issues and not because we're not willing to admit it, but I've discovered that when strong people admit that they got some issues, normally it's too much for most people to handle. I've discovered that most people would rather deal with strong people in a space where they can handle them. Most people would rather deal with strong people in a space where they can tolerate them. And so the mechanism of a strong person is not to be honest about what's going on. The natural mechanism of a strong person is to act like ain't nothing wrong, only to serve as a volcano where things begin to build and build and build and build. And over time, you end up erupting. Watch this. And people look at you like you lost your mind. You didn't lose your mind because you erupted. You lost your mind because you were being fake and acting like was nothing wrong with you. You were being fake and acting like there was nothing bothering you. And I'm here to tell you, you got to stop being fake in this season. I'm speaking to all my strong people. Strong people, you got a right to be offended. Strong people, when things bother you, you got a right to be offended. Strong people, when things come against you, you have a right to admit that you are not okay. Because I'm here to tell you that anytime you walk around acting like you all good when you ain't all good, not only are you operating in a spirit of fakery, but you are building, allowing things to build in your spirit that eventually will erupt over time. It's funny because when strong people go off, when strong people take things, they're patient. I'm preaching to my whole self. When strong people take things, they patient. When strong people go off, then they full of themselves. When strong people take things, then they got God on their side. When strong people had enough, then all of a sudden they out of control. I'm here to tell you, strong people, you got a right not to be fake in this season. If things ain't jiving with you, you ain't got to act like they are. If things aren't vibing with you, you don't have to act like they are. If things are not meshing well with you, you don't have to act like they are. Because everybody can handle the patient you, but few people can handle the set it off you. And my purpose tonight in this word, right now at this moment, is not to speak to the patient you, but it's to speak to the Queen Latifah with the braids you and set it off, who is moments from going off. And the reason you are is because you've been building things in your spirit. Stop being fake. Stop being fake. You have a right to let go of anything that has offended you, to admit anything that has offended you, and to be free from anything that has offended you. I want you to put it right there in the comments. Somebody said they Cleo. I'm with you. I want you to put it in the comments right now. Stop it. Stop being fake. Stop being fake, strong people. You don't have to be strong all the time. I'm preaching to myself. I might not be preaching to y'all, but I'm here to tell you, you ain't got to be strong all the time. Strong people, you have a right to be offended. You have a right to feel the emotions of hurt and pain and anger. And the reason you have a right to feel that is because the minute you let that go and that you're honest that those feelings exist is the minute that God sends freedom your way. And God's going to free you tonight. All right, I'm at element 2. I hope this is blessing you. I tell you, this thing is getting good to me. And I hope this is blessing you in a special way. Element number 2, the second element of forgiveness. All right, you ready? Y'all recording this? You putting this in the notes? The second element of forgiveness is this. The second element of forgiveness is healing. The second element of forgiveness is healing. Healing. The second element of forgiveness is healing. Are y'all with me? The second element of forgiveness is healing. I'm in James chapter 5, verse number 16. It's going to get good here. James chapter number 5, verse number 16, New Living Translation. The second element of forgiveness is healing. God wants you to be honest with you. He wants you to be honest with everybody else. And then he wants to heal you. Watch this. James chapter number 5, verse 16 says, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. Can I say this to you tonight? That pain is the barrier that sits between offense and victory. Pain is the barrier that sits between offense and victory. So in the middle of offense and victory is this thing called pain. You get offended, you move beyond offense to this space called pain, but you're not quite at the place called victory because there's some development that must happen between offense and victory. And I'm here to tell you that the development that must happen is called pain. Watch this. Because you can't move beyond anything until you're healed from it. You can't move beyond anything until you are healed from it. Some of you are trying to move beyond things instead of taking time to heal from the things that you want to move beyond. You gotta stop acting like stuff didn't hurt you. You gotta stop acting like things didn't offend you. You gotta stop dancing around things like you over it. Look, the phrase that I hate in church. Watch it. I hate this phrase. Rehab probably knows what I'm about to say. I've said it a million. I can't stand the phrase "fake it till you make it." I can't stand it. Pastor, how you doing, Sister Susie? Pastor, I tell you, I'm doing well. The Lord's been good to me. I'm just faking it until I make it. The problem with that is, one, you're being fake. But two, beyond being fake, you are not giving yourself the opportunity to stop acting like what happened to you did not hurt you. Because you will never heal over a wound that you don't acknowledge. And some of us are walking around, moving around, acting like things ain't bother us, things didn't offend us, when at the end of the day, you will never move beyond it. You will never be able to offend until you heal. Forgive until you heal. You will never be able to forgive until you heal. You got to heal first, because healing is a direct acknowledgement that I was wounded, but now I'm in a better place. You hear what I'm saying? Healing is a direct acknowledgement that I was wounded, but I'm in a better place. Miss me with all of that forgive and forget stuff. About to get in trouble. Forgive and forget. That ain't biblical. It sounds good. Well, the Lord told me I had to forgive and forget. That's not in the Bible. It does not exist. Forgive and forget is not in there. Why is it not biblical? Well, it sounds good. It sounds good, but the problem is forgive and forget ignores the need to heal. Forgive and forget ignores the need to heal. And I'm here to tell you that there are some things you can forgive people of, but wisdom teaches you not to forget. Watch, so you don't repeat the same mistakes, so that you don't allow people to repeat the same behavior. Y'all ain't talking to me tonight, but I'm here to tell you that as good as forgive and forget sounds, it ain't biblical. It sounds good, but it ignores the fact that you need to heal if you're going to move forward. Watch this. So then, if we know we need to heal in order to move forward, the question should become, where does that healing come from? Right? We know that God is the ultimate source of healing, but hear me. If we know God is the ultimate source of healing, that's good. But there is another level of healing that I want to deal with quickly. I want to deal with for 60 seconds. And that level of healing is called closure. That level of healing. There is a second level of healing called closure, where you say, I forgive you. I forgive what you did to me, right? The offense happened. I forgive you. Now I'm in the middle. I got pain. And somewhere between pain and moving on is a second level of forgiveness called closure. Watch this. Closure is based on your desire and not their agreement. I'm going to say this again. Closure is based on your desire and not their agreement, which means you got to stop waiting on people to apologize. You got to stop waiting on people to free you with an apology that you will never get. Some of us have been living our life waiting on people to apologize for stuff that they don't have the spiritual or mental capacity to even understand the offense. Stop waiting on people to free you with an apology that you'll never see. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you that if you made the decision to be hurt, you can make the decision to be free. I'm about to jump out of this seat and out of my skin. If you made the decision to be hurt, you can make the decision to be free, because the same decisions require the same level of closure. If I decided to let you hurt me, I can also make the decision to get some closure on what you did to me. So instead of you waiting on people to say, well, I just, this thing been bothering me for years. Some of us been waiting on folk, to just write us, call us, inbox us. Well, this thing been bothering me for years. And I finally, I just want you to know. No. If you wait on people's decision to give you closure, you might die before you get closure. You don't need nobody's help to get closure. Closure is a decision that you got to make. I want you to put it in the comments. I'm deciding to be free. This is going to free you tonight. Put it in the comments. I decided to be free. I decided to be free. They hurt me. I felt it. I admitted what they did. But tonight, I decided to be free. Good God from Zion. I decided to be free. Because if you made the decision to let them hurt you, if you made the decision to let them offend you, I'm here to tell you, you can make the decision to get some closure tonight. And stop waiting on people. Because let me tell you what people will do. People will play you like a puppet. When they know they got you in a space where you're relying on them to give you closure, where you're relying on them to feel better about yourself, where you're relying on them to feel better about the situation, people will hit you with all kinds of stuff like, I'll get back to you. I'm here to come against that I'll get back to you spirit. You don't need nobody to get back to you. You don't need nobody in this season. Excuse the English. I got a PhD. It's a real one. You don't need nobody to free you in this season. You don't need to rely on nobody to get back to you. Stop letting people treat you or hit you with the whole I'll get back to you stuff. No. Make the decision tonight to have closure. And you got to position yourself to say that whether you're with me or against me, whether you're for me or against me, regardless, I'm going to have closure in this season. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? I decided to come on and have closure. You got to make that decision tonight. I decided to be free. I'm closing the book on any situation, any circumstance that is trying to hold me hostage. If I've made the decision to let them hurt me, I'm going to make the decision to be free from what happened. Because people will hold what you did over your head. People will hold what happened over your head. And I ain't just talking about when people offend you. Some of us have offended other people. And we walked around guilty, waiting on people to accept an apology that they don't want to accept, because not accepting it keeps us in the space where we were. Can I say this to y'all? This thing is getting good to me. Some people won't accept your apology because they feel like if they don't accept your apology, it holds you in a space called guilt. And as long as they can keep you in guilt, then they feel like you'll never get beyond what you did to them. Baby, listen, you apologize to people. You tell people that you're sincerely sorry. And I'm here to tell you that once you have given that apology, whether they receive it or not, give it right. Don't talk to folk any kind of way. But once you have given that apology right, whether they receive it or not, you have the moment and the opportunity to shut the door and shut the book and move on. Stop letting people hold you hostage because they want to keep you where you are. You got to make the decision to be free. Is this blessing anybody tonight? I'm in element 3 and I'm done. I'm in element 3 and I'm done tonight. The third element of forgiveness. We said element 1. We said element number 1 was honesty. We said element number 2 was healing. We said element number 1 was honesty. We said element number 2, I'm talking about the 3 elements of forgiveness: forgiving others, forgiving yourself. Element number 1 is honesty. Element number 2 is healing. And element number 3 is trust. This is a big one. Element number 3, the third layer of forgiveness, is trust. Element 1 is honesty. Element number 2 is healing. I've been honest. I've been healed. Now God has to move me to this space called trust. Watch this. Proverbs, I got to hurry. Chapter 3, verse 1 through 6 is where we are. New Living Translation. Proverbs, chapter number 3, verses 1 through 6 is where we are. Would you get that? Give me a second. Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 1 through 6 is where we are. New Living Translation. All right. Are you with me? Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. Look at this. It says, my child, verse 1, never forget the things I've taught you. Store my commands in your heart. Verse 2, if you do this, you will live many years and your life will be satisfying. Verse 3, never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. Verse 4, then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will earn a good reputation. Verse 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Verse 6 is the one that I want. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. Can I say this to you? And I want to say this to you in complete love tonight. The natural response to being hurt is to lose trust. And that's okay. The natural response to being hurt is to lose trust. And that's okay. Don't let people tell you that it's a bad thing that you don't trust people after you have been hurt. Did you hear what I said? Don't let people tell you it's a bad thing that you struggle with trust after you've been hurt. Because I'm here to tell you, even if you're hurt, you cannot hide behind having trust issues. So the only way you overcome trust issues is by being honest about the fact that you got trust issues. Being honest about the fact that when you were offended, it created some trust issues. Watch this. So it's good to admit that you have trust issues as a result of things that have offended you. That's a good thing. But hear me in love. This is where the tide changes. Sometimes this statement, I got trust issues, is a front that reflects the presence of unresolved pain. Sometimes when we say, I got trust issues, what we're really saying is, I got some unresolved pain that I ain't dealt with, and I'm not really ready to deal with it yet. And so my natural response and inclination is to say, I got trust issues. And you ain't telling a lie. You're not lying. You do have trust issues. You're not telling a lie. You did get offended. You're not telling a lie. They were wrong. You're not telling a lie. You were wrong. None of that's a lie. But the problem is saying you got trust issues sometimes is a front that's covering up unresolved pain. And watch this. The only way you can regain trust in people is to redirect your source of trust. The only way you can regain trust in people is to redirect your source of trust. Watch this. It's hard to trust people when you don't have a safety net. It's hard to trust people when you don't have a safety net. And your safety net in this season, when it comes to forgiving people, I've forgiven you. I've been healed by what you did. I've been honest about what you did. I've been honest about my part. Now, the only way I can start trusting you is if I have a safety net. Who's going to catch me if you offend me again? Who's going to catch me if you do it again? And I'm here to tell you, and as deep as some of you want to be, some of us have not moved forward with people because we thought about what they did the last time. And when you think about what people did the last time and your source of trust is in the wrong place, you won't move forward because your concern is always, what if this happens to me again? And I'm here to tell you, the Bible gives us some solid advice here. Because David said, hear me, yea, though I walk, let me lower my voice, I'm getting happy. That yea, though I walk through the valley of a shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because the Lord is with me. Hear what I'm saying. The best way to start trusting people again is to start loving God again. When you love God right, when you trust God right, you don't even worry about if people do this to you again. Because I'm here to tell you, people will disappoint you multiple times. People will go back on their apology. People will apologize for doing something, turn around 2 days later and do it again. But I'm here to tell you, you got to develop David's testimony. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm surrounded by all of this stuff, I will fear no evil. Why? Because the Lord is with me. Watch this. You ain't got a trust issue. You got a God issue. You don't have a trust issue. You got a God issue. I know that offends you, but I'm here to tell you, you ain't got a trust issue. Quit telling people you got trust issues. You ain't got trust issues. You got a God issue. Because when you get your God issue together, it don't even matter what people are trying to do to you. It doesn't even matter what people do behind your back. I'm here to tell you that when you have God on your side, you worry less about people reoffending you. You worry less about what people do after you forgive them, and you allow yourself to live like David and say, I've forgiven you, and I'm not going to live my life in fear, wondering if you're going to do it again. You don't have a trust issue. You got a God issue, and you must restore your faith and your confidence in God. Did this bless you tonight? I'm done. Did this bless you? I hope this blessed you in a tremendous way. I'm here to tell you that there are 3 critical elements of forgiveness. 3 critical elements of forgiveness. And those 3 critical elements are simple. Element number 1 is honesty. Element number 2, you've got to be honest about what it is that happened. You got to be honest about your role and their role. Element number 2 is healing. You've got to seek God and allow him to heal you of what happened if you're going to move forward. And the last thing, that last element of forgiveness is trust. It's easy to trust people when your trust is in God. Some trust in horses, some trust in chariots, but we will remember the name of the Lord. David said, why? Because the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The tower is so strong that when people offend you, when people do things against you, the tower is so strong that it's strong enough to catch you when people disappoint you. And so I'm here to tell you, you got to redirect your trust. You ain't got a trust issue. You got a God issue. And God wants to correct your issue with him so that you can learn to trust people again and worry less about being reoffended and focus more on the fact that if God is for me, and he is, then he's more than the world against you. I hope this blessed you tonight. I really hope this spoke to your spirit. I hope it challenged you. I know some of this was tough to chew. I hope it challenged you, but I want to pray with you quickly. Come on. I'm going to pray with you quickly. You know the drill. You know the routine. If you're home, just clasp your hands together as a sign of faith. If you're home by yourself, just clasp your hands together as a sign of faith. If you're connected to somebody that's near you, that's watching this with you, I want you to grab hands with them. But I want to pray with you quickly. I need 30 seconds to pray with you quickly tonight. I want you to grab hands with them. I pray this message on forgiveness has freed somebody, If you have a prayer request, you can send it to info@REHABCC. But I want to pray with you quickly tonight. It is my prayer that this message has challenged you in a tremendous way. It is my prayer that it has blessed you in a tremendous way. Come on, let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for your word tonight. Thank you for a solid message on forgiveness. God, help us to be honest about our situations, about the things that have offended us. Help us, God, to walk in a space called healing, where, God, we allow ourselves to be very truthful about what has offended us so that we can heal from it. And then finally, God, teach us how to trust you again, so that, God, when we fully trust you, we worry less about what happens to us and we focus more on what it is that God is doing for us and through us. God, I speak now the strength over these airways for your people to walk in forgiveness like they never had before. God, give them the strength to forgive other people. God, give them the strength to forgive themselves. Help them to understand that the mistake is not the destination, that the accident is not the final purpose, that, God, everything still works together for the good of them that love you. And so, God, I pray right now over everybody that's tuned in, that you would give them the strength now to walk in forgiveness, to live in forgiveness, to live in the love necessary to not only forgive others, but to forgive ourselves. God, we will continue to praise you. God, we will continue not to walk in fear, but to walk in the courage and confidence, knowing that, God, because you are with us, we have no reason to fear. God, we thank you for these things and count them done in Jesus' name. Amen. Listen, if you prayed with me tonight, I want you to put it in the comments real fast. It is so. Come on. It is so. It is so. Tonight, somebody's going to leave this broadcast. Somebody's going to leave and go forgive somebody that they've been holding something over for a long time. I'm here to tell you tonight, you have the power and the strength to walk in forgiveness. It is so. It is so. Maybe as you are typing, it is so, if there's anybody on this live that wants to be saved, maybe you heard this message tonight that has really convicted and challenged you. It has put you in a position to reevaluate how you've handled some things that have happened to you, and you want to be saved. I want you to repeat after me. If you want to be saved, as the believers are putting in, it is so. If you want to be saved, I want you to repeat what the Bible challenges us to say in Romans 10, chapter 9. If we confess with our mouths, believe in our hearts, Jesus Christ lived, died, and rose again, that we are saved. I want you to repeat after me. This is now. If you want to be saved, repeat this after me. I believe that Jesus Christ, he lived, was born of a virgin, lived just like I live, died for my sins, and 3 days later rose again. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow, and because he lives, I am saved. If you prayed that prayer, I want to welcome you tonight to the body of Christ. It's that simple. Salvation is as simple as a confession. And I'm here to tell you that if you have confessed that prayer tonight, welcome to this awesome body of Christ that we all live in as believers. Now you got another job. You need to find a church home that you can give to, that you can sow into, that you can work in. You need to find a pastor. So I want to encourage all of you to find you a pastor somewhere that you can be a part of their ministry, that you can work, serve, and grow so that God can bless you in a special way. If you even want to be a part of Rehab, you'll see moderators coming where will give you information on how you can be a part of our ministry. We would love to have you. But I'm here to tell you that the next step to salvation after you've received Christ is finding you a pastor, somebody who can teach you, that can help you grow, that can help you develop in a very, very special way. All right. And so I want to challenge you tonight. If you have prayed that prayer of salvation, to become a part of the body of Christ on the next level, and to not only do that, but to find you a ministry where you can be a part of, a ministry that you can grow in, a ministry that you can develop in. The Bible says How can they hear without a preacher? And how can he preach except he's been sent? So you need to find your pastor that you can lean on, that you can talk to, that you can grow from, that you can develop through, so that your life of salvation can continue to grow. All right. I pray this message blessed you. If this message has blessed you, I want to challenge you to give tonight. I want to challenge you to give tonight. If this message has blessed you, you should see on the screen tonight. I want to challenge you to give. There are 3 ways you can give and be a blessing to our ministry. So many of you have tuned in and learned about our ministry since COVID-19. You were not even aware of our ministry, but you became aware of our ministry as a result of COVID-19. And I'm here to tell you that we are very grateful for everything that you've done to sow into our ministry. Many of you that are new viewers may not know that our ministry turns 7 years old in August. We will turn 7 years old in August. And God has blessed us in less than 7 years to feed and clothe over 20,000 people. We don't have a 2,000 member church. We don't have a 1,000 member church. We literally have a church right around 200, 250 people. And God, simply through tithes and offering, has used us to bless, to feed, to clothe over 20,000 people. And that has not happened by accident. That's happened because of your giving. So tonight, if this message has blessed you, you should see on your screen opportunities, ways in which you can give. And I want to challenge you to be a blessing into this ministry. Maybe you don't have a ministry that you can call home. Maybe you don't have a church that you can call home, but you believe in the power of tithing. I certainly encourage you to feel free to tithe into our ministry. And I want you to know that you're giving to a ministry that has a proven track record of sowing into our community and empowering the people that are in need. Matthew 25 tells us really plainly the disciples were really confused because they didn't understand why Jesus was doing the things that he was doing for the people that he was serving. And Jesus broke this down really plainly. He said, listen, when I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I was thirsty, you did not give me drink. When I was naked, you didn't give me clothes. When I was in prison, you did not come to see me. And what Jesus was speaking to was more than just spiritual needs. Shouting and screaming and dancing is good. But at the end of the day, the church has been designed to meet the spiritual and the natural needs of people. And God has blessed us to meet the natural needs and the spiritual needs of over 20,000 people in less than 7 years. And he's done it through tithes and offering. No loans, no grants, none of those things. He's done it because a handful of us have decided that it's still better to give than to receive. And so I want to challenge you again. If you want to give, you can give 3 ways. Via Cash App at $REHABCC give. You can give online at our website, www.rehabcc.org, or you can give through your cell phone by texting the word Rehab Works to 88202. Text the word Rehab Works, one word, Rehab Works, together as one word, to 88202, and just follow the prompts on your phone, and you can give any of those ways. Again, Cash App, $REHABCC give, $REHABCC give, online at www.rehabcc.org, or you can give right through your cell phone or from your cell phone by texting Rehab Works to 88202. I'm here to tell you that if you trust God in your giving in this season, if you trust God in your giving in this season, that God will bless you in a tremendous way. And you know that he's going to bless you because you're giving into solid ground. You're giving into a ministry that is solid ground. Okay. So I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. I want you to know that this week is going to be a week filled with victory. This week is going to be a week filled with breakthrough. And I can't wait to see you on Sunday. Do me a favor. If you tuned in tonight, I want you to make sure that you, share this video, this live message with everybody that you know. Share it with everybody that you know. And secondly, I want you to tune in on Sunday. I've got a powerful word for you on Sunday. I love our format on Sunday because our Sunday format is very unique for a virtual ministry. And God has really blessed us to do some innovative and creative things. So I want to challenge all of you to meet me right here on Sunday, 9:08 a.m. 9:08 a.m. I know Sister Michelle's going to be there. Got to give my friend that I've never met a shout out. who's just been a faithful viewer of our ministry over the last couple of weeks, I want you to tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for a powerful word. God has a powerful word in store for you. He has a powerful word in store for your family. And I can't wait to see you Sunday. Sunday is going to be a power-packed message. You're going to be encouraged. You're going to be empowered in a special way. And I would love to see you there. All right. I love you. I love you. I miss hearing Rehab say back to me, we love you too, Pastor. I love you. I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. I want you to have a phenomenal week. And don't forget the 3 layers of forgiveness. You got to be honest. You got to be healed. And you got to redevelop your trust. If you do those things, God's going to bless you in a special way. All right. Meet me Sunday for a powerful word. Share this broadcast with everybody that you know. I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. Peace and blessings.
Thank you for watching the Rehab Christian Center Live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.